Well, I failed at the San Juan Solstice 50 miler. I ran the race that was in my legs, and I'm 69 years old, and I guess my legs aren't good enough to make the cutoff because I missed the cutoff at Williams Campground by 10 minutes. I got time enough to put together my pack and then climb Rio Grande Pyramid in the morning, which is one of the high 13ers that I'm missing in the top 100. If I finish climbing this mountain, it'll be my 97th of the 100 highest peaks in Colorado. I was hiking. So here's the mighty Weminuche Creek and a sturdy bridge, well-constructed bridge to get across it. And this is about 2 miles up the trail. So I hiked in about 4 miles to the second creek crossing. You can see the trail down there in the creek. And here's something that's pretty disconcerting. Look at all these dead trees. And this is the way it is all over. There are huge swaths of dead trees. You can see up there on the ridge there. Apparently killed by the pine beetle, I don't know. But climate change is definitely a factor. Good morning. So I'm about to make breakfast. I'm up and about, had breakfast. It's about a little bit after 5. I woke up at 4:40, read a little bit of my Kindle. And surprisingly, I've got cell phone reception here. So I've been texted Rebecca. So the goal today is to climb Rio Grande Pyramid. Vamonos. If I would have crossed the creek back at the trail, I would have got at least 1 foot wet. So here's the trail. And I was on the other side looking at that thinking, well, I could get those first 2 rocks, but then I'd have to get 1 foot wet before I reach that stationary log. So I don't want my feet wet this early. I had enough of that yesterday with about 12 creek crossings. This is really quite beautiful, except all the dead trees. You could probably see a lot of them back there. Now, this down here is a Weminuche Creek drainage, and it's spectacular. I mean, very lush. It's a very unique place to be in the world. At this trail junction, I had to do a little bit of sleuthing and actually break out the guidebook, Jerry Roach's excellent Colorado 13ers from Hikes to Climbs, Jerry Roach and Jennifer Roach, 2nd edition. I'm in his 14ers book for once holding the record for the fastest winter climb of Pikes Peak. Jerry Roach in his guidebook says that there's a weathered sign that reads Skyline Trail. But all that's left now is, looks like a R in trail, maybe A, either an A or an R. But it's now been renamed the Opal Lake Trail. So there's a big group of people. I wonder what they're up to. Well, they said they're going to be out here for about a month. They were on their way to a resupply, and they're going to go down the Weminuche Creek Trail, and they asked for a little bit of beta on creek crossings. Well, I'm realizing that I missed the trail because the guidebook says when you turn right on the Opal Lake Trail, you climb steeply for 1.3 miles. I have not been climbing steeply for the last 1.3 miles. I've been just following the river valley. And but looking at the map, if I keep hiking on this trail, because I've hiked it for about a mile or more, I'll come to a junction where I can turn right on the Continental Divide Trail, which will take me way up in the direction exactly where I need to be to climb Rio Grande Peak. Additionally, I saw a sign that said Rincon La Vaca Trail. Well, looking at the Trails Illustrated map, Rincon La Vaca is a valley just to the left of the Continental Divide Trail. So that's what this is doing. It's going up to intersect with the Continental Divide Trail, at which point I'll alter my course, follow the Continental Divide Trail to a high point where I can start to cross country to get back on the track for climbing Rio Grande Pyramid. Sure enough, Continental Divide Trail. If I would have waited another 50 feet, I would have seen it. I believe that is Rio Grande Pyramid directly ahead. Okay, another route adjustment. Where the trail bended, where it looked like on the map I could bushwhack up to the Opal Lake Trail, it was like this. It was all just trees, very steep. It would have been an ordeal to get up there, so I thought it was going to be open country, but it's not. So continuing on the Continental Divide Trail, I went and looked at the guidebook again. I'm glad I brought the whole book. And there's another route that you can do on this trail that I'm on, and you go up a little ways farther, a mile and a half or so, and then you find the Opal Lake Trail where it dumps into the Continental Divide Trail. Then you turn right on the Opal Lake Trail, and then you join the route that I had anticipated doing, the East Slopes route. So I believe this is the trail junction. It's not marked, but there's a branch in the trail. So you can see down there, way down there, that big green spot is the Weminuche Creek Valley. I was wrong. That trail just led up to some campsites, some very nice flat campsites, and the creek is nearby. But the way's got to be higher. I got to keep going on the Colorado Continental Divide Trail a ways, because that's Rio Grande Pyramid right there. So I'm about 6.5 miles from my campsite, now on the Continental Divide Trail. That is Rio Grande Pyramid. And I'm going to, there's the window. Now, presumably I'm going to be coming on the Opal Lake Trail, which will branch me off to the right and take me to the right of Rio Grande Pyramid, at which point I will have a climb on my hands. Nonchalantly having a drink, and then became aware of my presence. Can't find the Opal Lake Trail. I'm not sure if it's notional, it was obscured, or if it ever existed. Now this, I think this lake is on the maps, but if it is this lake, it's not accurately portrayed in relation to the trails. I do know that I have to go below the window and traverse over to the other side of Rio Grande Peak. So I'm just going to get up on the ridge. First of all, climb that green spot, get up on that bank, then angle to the right. Looks like it's easy enough to get up, and then climb the damn peak and figure out how to get down from there. So far so good, making it up the grassy slope. But once I get up here to this saddle, I'll just have a relatively short jaunt up to the top. Oh man. So looking back where I've just come from, I was just down there in that flat spot. Finally, after muchos problemas route finding, I made it to the top. Oh man. So 9.36 miles on my watch, where it should have been 5.5 from my campsite, in nearly 7 hours. 6 hours and 48 minutes. I was all over the place. Well, there's the Weminuche Valley. Worst comes to worst, I can just bushwhack until I hit the trail. Looking at these mountains, see if I can identify any. We're looking south, so I'm guessing, I guess I'd have to look at the map. Because now I just have to find my way down. As long as I stay east, I'll be good. Or stay west, going west. I have yet to find any trails, even spur trails, that Jerry Roach mentions in the guidebook. There's the window over there, and I traversed across that marshy area down below. Then I just found my own way to the top of the pyramid, which is right there. A little confusing trying to find my way to the Opal Lake Trail. I keep on having to read his description over and over again to make sure. But now that I see this trail down here, I'm going to traverse over to it and then drop down. I've seen other trails over here that I think might be the Opal Lake Trail. This is the Continental Divide, and that's point 13,273 or something like that. So this is the Continental Divide, looking over towards Weminuche Pass. So finally I'm on a trail of sorts. I can see other trails. I can see that trail over there going below the Continental Divide. What's a little bit confusing, and Jerry Roach corrects it in his book, is in the Trails Illustrated map. It shows the trail, Opal Lake Trail, going along the ridge. The way Jerry Roach describes it, he says the Opal Lake Trail goes to the right of the Rincon La Vaca, which is the Continental Divide trail that I was on earlier. So I think it's going to be closer over to this side. Well, I lost that trail. Now I'm just cross country and trying to see if I'm going to run into the Opal Lake Trail. I don't know about this Opal Lake Trail. I've seen no evidence of it. This could be the Opal Lake Trail because it's going down in the direction where I want to go. This is a good trail. I'm convinced. The way Jerry Roach describes it, he says the Opal Lake Trail goes to the right of the Rincon La Vaca, which is the Continental Divide trail that I was on earlier. So I think it's going to be closer over to this side. It's going to take me down to Weminuche Creek again. Agua! Finally, I've been out of water for probably an hour. This is crazy, but I recognize this mini waterfall. I think I'm not on the Opal Lake Trail. I think I'm on the Continental Divide Trail, the same one I came up. So I will come down and I will join that other trail, which is fine. It's a couple miles more. Where is the Opal Lake Trail? See, I think now the Opal Lake Trail is way up there below the ridge. Well, I did an inventory of my remaining food, and I've got 5 bars to get me through if I decide to stay the night, because I've got a ways to go back to my campsite, and it's coming on for almost 5. Hello. Rincon La Vaca Trail. That should have been my first clue that I was on the wrong track. that and it's flat. And I was supposed to be climbing. Well, I found the Opal Lake Trail. See, there's a marker that says Wamanuchi Trail there. And the guidebook says 100 yards past the creek, which is, you can hear the creek over there, is where you turn right onto the trail. Well, as you can see, there's no evidence of any trails along in here. There's a couple like feeble cairn markings. You can see it's not even a very good trail. Seldom used. Well, I'm back at my campsite. 12 hours, 17 miles. And it's 6:45, so I'm just going to camp here tonight. Besides, even if I packed up all my stuff, it'd probably take me an hour. Get all my stuff packed up, ready to go. By that time, it'd be almost 8 o'clock, and the lights go out not shortly after that, so I'd be hiking in the dark with my headlamp anyway, so I'll just be crashing.